Hi, everybody. We are going to start with Chapter 8 of Junie B. Aloha, clicking. We hiked and hiked to the end of the trail. Then Donald gave us granola bars, plus also we drank Gatorade. Donald liked my flower head. You look like a walking lahua blossom, he said. I did a frown at that word. A lahua, what? I said. A lahua blossom. The flowers in your hair are red lahua blossoms, he explained. Lahua blossoms are a favorite food source for a little red bird called an apapane. I stared at that man for a real long time. You have way too much information in your head, Don, I said. Donald laughed real loud. Then I laughed too, only it wasn't actually a joke. After we rested, we started hiking back to the bus. Mother and Daddy and I went last again, only this time I had to walk even slower on account of the flowers kept falling out of my hair, and so I had to keep picking them up and putting them back. Come on, Junie B, said Mother. We need to stay up with the others. If the flowers fall out of your hair, you'll just have to leave them. I did a frown, but I worked very hard at this flower arrangement, I said, and I don't want to go back to the bus empty-headed. Mother thought for a minute, then she picked up more flowers from the trail and she wove them in all over my head. Plus, also, she used some bobby pins to hold them. There, that ought to do the trick, she said. Now, come on, let's go. We've got to catch up. And so both of us started to run. Only too bad for me because all of a sudden my shoe came loose, and so I quick sat down on the trail to tie it. And that is the last pleasant hiking memory I have. Whoosh! The noise zoomed by my ear. Whoosh! I did a gasp. A teensy red bird flew right by my face. I sat there real frozen. The bird fluttered and flapped and chirped and twerped and dipped and swirled, and then plop, that crazy bird landed right on top of my head. My mouth tried to shut, but no words would come out. I quick stood up and tried to shoo him away, but he just flapped and flopped, fluttered some more, and he kept right on staying there. Then finally my voice came back to normal. Bird, bird, 911, bird, 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 911, I screeched. Mother and Daddy came running back to me. Their mouths fell all the way open. Then they tried to shoo the bird away too, but it still kept flapping and flopping and fluttering up there. Suddenly, Mother covered her mouth with her hand. Oh, my gosh. I think it's stuck, she said. I think it's tangled in her hair. My eyes got big and wide at that news. Tangled, I yelled. The bird is tangled in my hair. Are you kidding me? I raised my screech even louder. It's tangled, 911, 911, it's tangled, I hollered. All of the bus people came rushing back at once. Plus, Donald came rushing back, too. He came to a stop in front of the group, then he quick gathered himself together, and he started giving orders. Okay, I need everyone to go back to the bus now, he said. Please. The old people hurried away. Then Donald turned to Mother and Daddy, and he made his voice very calm. Okay, Mom and Dad, step away from the bird, he said. Mother and Daddy looked at each other, then both of them stepped away. After that, Donald walked to me real slow, and he squatted down next to me, and he held my hand. You okay, honey? He said. I rolled my eyes. I've got a bird on my head here, Don. How good can I be? I said. Donald smiled. I don't know. You look pretty brave to me, he said. I thought for a minute and did a sigh. I'm not, Donald. I'm not brave, I said. I'm afraid of jellyfish and eels. Donald shrugged. Join the club, he said. After that, he gave me a pat and he told me my final instructions. Just hold your head perfectly still, he said. I'm going to walk behind you and untangle this little guy, okay? My heart pounded real hard. Okay, I said back. I stood as still as could be. Donald's voice kept talking real quiet and calm. In all of my years as a nature guide, I have never seen a sight like this, he said. I raised my eyebrows. Really, Donald, I said. Really, he said. I wish I had a picture of this. A picture of this would be 1 in a million. That's when it hit me. I did a gasp. Donald, I have a camera, I said. I pointed to my backpack lying on the trail. It's right in there. Mother covered her mouth. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot about that, she said. Then she bent down real slow, and she got the camera from my backpack, and click, click, she took a picture. I kept on staying still. I felt Donald pick the bird up real gentle, and he untangled its feet from my hair. Click, click, Mother took another picture. Then, hooray. It says, a bird in my hair. Donald held out his hands, and he showed me the teensy little red bird. Look, see? Not one feather harmed, he said. Good job, young lady. I smiled real relieved. Good job to you too, Donald, I said. He winked at me. How about if you and I go release the little fella back to his tree, he said. He's going to have a pretty exciting story to tell all of his friends, isn't he? I thought about show and tell. Yes, I said, we both are. After that, I took the camera from Mother, and me and Donald went down the trail a little way. Donald set the bird on a rock. He kept his hands around the bird real gentle. Ready, said Donald. Ready, I said. Donald took his hands away and flap, flap. The bird started to fly. I began snapping pictures very fast. So if you look, the top one, there's the tree. And it says, click, click, a bird in the tree. And then this one says, bye, bye, birdie. Then zoom, it flew away. For a second, I stood there real silent. Donald stood real silent too. Whoa, I said finally. Wow, said Donald. We looked at each other and smiled. I aimed my camera one more time. Click, click. My new friend, Donald. Chapter 9, Aloha. Dear first grade journal, it is already tomorrow morning. Mother, Dad, and Daddy are still sleeping, only I don't even know how they could even go to sleep at all last night because yesterday was the excitingest day of my life. Donald talked in the microphone the whole way home. He said that the bird was just a baby and it thought my head was a giant flower probably. Also, he said how brave I was and that I was a delightful little girl. It was very interesting conversation, but that was not even the end of my exciting bird day. On account of last night, I took a bubble bath and Squeezer got all warmish and soapish. And what do you know? He slipped right off with bubbles. I am getting to be excellent with birds. Someday I will be a nature guy probably. I thought for a second. Or maybe I will be a photojournal guy, possibly. I tapped on my chin. No, wait. Maybe I might like to arrange hair flowers because I have a talent for that too, I believe. From Junie B, nature guy, and other possible stuff. I put my pencil down and took out my photojournal because after the bus trip yesterday, we went right to the drugstore and we got my pictures developed and they turned out beautifully, I tell you. I showed them to Philip, Johnny, Bob, and Squeezer. They loved them very much. Also, I tried to show them to Dolores, but she was busy getting a facial. After I finished looking at the pictures, I lined them up in my journal and I printed their captions all nice and neat. I smiled as I read them. Mr. Scary was right. A photojournal really does tell a story in pictures. And Dawn was right too. My bird picture was 1 in a million. I did a sigh. 1 in a million, I whispered. You really can't beat 1 in a million. I opened up my suitcase and I packed my journal real careful. I smiled some more. Room 1's first official photojournal ever, I said. I stood up a little straighter because feeling official made me taller again. Just then the radio went off. Today was going to be our last day in Hawaii, and so Mother and Daddy set the alarm. I looked at the clock and grinned. There was still time for one more delicious pancake breakfast. I tippy-toed over to Daddy and blew air in his face. He opened one eyeball. I waved. Aloha, ha, ha, I whispered. Daddy did a chuckle. I kissed him on his cheek. Hawaii was the time of my life. And that is the end of that book. Have a great day.